You hit a pothole last week, your tyre blew out, your suspension took a hit, and now you are staring at a garage bill that could run into hundreds of pounds. And the worst part? You probably just paid it out of your own pocket without realizing that the council responsible for that road could have been made to pay every single penny of it. Today, I am going to show you exactly how to fight back, how to make councils accountable, and how to get the money you deserve when a damaged road destroys your vehicle. Let me start by asking you something. Have you ever driven over a massive pothole, felt that horrible thud, and then just kept driving because you assumed there was nothing you could do about it? If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. Millions of drivers across the UK suffer vehicle damage caused by poorly maintained roads every single year. Cracked tyres, buckled alloy wheels, broken suspension arms, damaged exhaust systems, misaligned steering, cracked windscreens from flying debris. The list goes on, and billions of pounds worth of damage is quietly absorbed by ordinary drivers who simply do not know their rights. But here is the truth that your local council does not want you to know. Under the Highways Act 1980, local councils have a legal duty to maintain public roads in a safe condition. That means if a road defect causes damage to your vehicle and the council failed in their duty to inspect and repair it within a reasonable timeframe, you may have a very strong legal right to claim full compensation from them. This is not a loophole, this is the law. And thousands of people across the UK have successfully claimed back their repair costs, sometimes within just a few weeks of submitting a formal claim. Now, before you start thinking this is complicated or that you need an expensive solicitor, let me walk you through the whole process step by step, because this is genuinely something you can do yourself from home with nothing more than your phone, some basic paperwork, and a bit of determination. The very first thing you need to do, and I cannot stress this enough, is gather your evidence immediately after the incident. The moment you can safely do so, return to the location of the defect and take photographs. Take lots of them. Get down low and photograph the pothole or road defect from multiple angles. Include something in the shot for scale, like a ruler, a coin, or even your hand, so the depth and width of the damage is clearly visible. Most councils use a specific threshold to determine whether a defect is considered dangerous. In many areas, a pothole needs to be at least 40 millimeters deep to trigger their legal duty to repair it. If yours is deeper than that, you already have a much stronger case. While you are there, note down the exact location. Get the street name, the nearest house number or landmark, and if possible, drop a pin on Google Maps and screenshot it. You want to be absolutely precise about where this defect is, because councils will look for any excuse to reject your claim, and a vague location description gives them exactly the ammunition they need. Next, photograph your vehicle. Do this thoroughly. Get shots of the damaged tyre, the buckled wheel, the cracked bodywork, or whatever the road has done to your car. If your dashboard warning lights have come on, photograph those too. Then go straight to a garage and get a written assessment of the damage. Ask the mechanic to confirm in writing that the damage is consistent with pothole impact or road surface defect. This kind of professional confirmation is incredibly valuable when you are putting together your claim. Now, here is where many people go wrong. They report the pothole, but they do not keep a record of having done so. When you report a road defect to your council, always do it through their official online reporting system or by email, never just by phone. The reason is simple. You need a paper trail. You need proof of the date and time you reported it, and you need evidence of how the council responded. If you phoned them, you have nothing. If you email them or use their online portal, you have everything. Once you have reported the defect, submit a formal compensation claim to the council as soon as possible. Do not delay. The sooner you act, the better your chances. Most councils have a formal claims process, and you can usually find it on their website under Highways, Road Maintenance, or Compensation Claims. you will typically need to provide your personal details, the date, time, and location of the incident, a clear description of what happened, photographs of both the defect and the vehicle damage, and receipts or quotes for the repair costs. Now, let us talk about the council's main defense, because this is the part that catches a lot of people out. When you submit a claim, the council will almost always respond by citing what is known as the Section 58 defense under the Highways Act 1980. This means they are claiming that they had a reasonable system of inspection and maintenance in place, and that despite that system, the defect arose without them having enough time to identify and fix it. Essentially, they are saying they did everything right and the defect snuck up on them. This is where your evidence becomes absolutely critical. You need to challenge their inspection records. You are fully entitled to request copies of their inspection logs for that specific road through a subject access request or a freedom of information request. What you are looking for is how often that road was inspected, when the last inspection was carried out before your incident, and whether any previous reports of that defect had been made. If someone else reported that same pothole weeks before your incident and the council ignored it, that is powerful evidence that they failed in their duty. If their inspection records show the road was not checked within their own stated inspection intervals, that undermines their Section 58 defense significantly. Many successful claimants have found that councils have inspection gaps that are months long on lower category roads, even when their own policy requires more frequent checks. When you uncover that kind of discrepancy and present it clearly in your claim, councils will often settle rather than take the matter to court, because they know a judge is unlikely to look favorably on an authority that could not even follow its own maintenance schedule. When it comes to putting a value on your claim, be thorough and be precise. Include every cost that flows directly from the incident. That means the full cost of replacing your tire, repairing or replacing a buckled wheel, the cost of any suspension or steering repairs, any fees for a professional alignment check, the cost of alternative transport while your car was off the road, and any loss of earnings if the damage prevented you from getting to work. Keep every single receipt, every invoice, and every quote you receive. The more documented your losses are, the harder it is for the council to dismiss or reduce your claim. If the council rejects your claim, do not give up. This is not the end of the road, and councils are counting on you thinking it is. A rejection is not a final decision. You have several options available to you. First, you can request a formal review of their decision and submit any additional evidence you have gathered. Second, you can escalate your complaint to the local government ombudsman if you believe the council has acted unreasonably or failed to follow proper procedure. Third, and this is the route that councils genuinely fear, you can take the matter to the small claims court. For claims under £5,000, the small claims process is straightforward, relatively inexpensive, and does not require legal representation. Judges dealing with these cases are well aware of council's obligations under the Highways Act, and a well-documented claim, presented clearly and confidently, has a very reasonable chance of success. There are some things you should also be aware of that can significantly affect your claim. The time limits matter enormously. Generally speaking, you have 3 years from the date of the incident to bring a claim, but do not let that lull you into thinking you can wait. Evidence disappears. Potholes get repaired. Witnesses forget. The stronger and more timely your evidence, the stronger your claim. Act quickly. Your own driving behavior can also be a factor. Councils will sometimes argue contributory negligence, meaning they will suggest that you were driving too fast, that you should have seen the hazard and avoided it, or that you failed to take reasonable care. This is why it helps if you can show that the defect was not clearly visible or was unavoidable given normal driving conditions. Nighttime incidents, incidents in poor weather, or incidents where the defect was obscured by water or shadow are often easier to argue on these grounds. If you are not confident handling the process yourself, it is worth knowing that many solicitors offer a free initial consultation for road damage claims, and some work on a no-win, no-fee basis. However, for claims below a certain value, handling it yourself through the small claims court is often quicker and simpler than going through a solicitor, and you get to keep everything you win without legal fees eating into it. One more thing worth doing, and this costs you absolutely nothing. After you have submitted your claim, check whether other drivers have reported the same defect. Websites like Fix My Street allow members of the public to log road defects and see when they were reported. If that same pothole had been reported multiple times before your incident, that information is gold for your case. It shows the council was aware of the problem and chose not to fix it. The bottom line is this: councils have limited budgets and they are under real pressure, but that pressure does not remove their legal obligation to keep roads safe. When they fail to meet that obligation and ordinary drivers pay the price, those drivers have every right to seek and obtain compensation. The system exists. The legal framework exists. What is often missing is the awareness that this is even possible, and the knowledge of how to navigate it effectively. You now have both of those things. The next time a damaged road takes money out of your wallet, you know exactly what to do. Document everything on the spot. Report the defect in writing. Submit a detailed formal claim. Challenge their inspection records. Escalate if they reject you. And if necessary, take them to court. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. If this video has helped you understand your rights as a driver, please do not keep it to yourself. Share it with friends and family who drive, because the chances are someone you know has already paid for road damage that they should never have had to pay for. Every driver on UK roads deserves to know this information. And if you want to stay up to date on your rights as a driver, how to fight unfair fines, how to challenge parking penalties, how to deal with councils and authorities, and everything else that affects you behind the wheel in the United Kingdom, make sure you subscribe to UK Fines Alerts. We are here to make sure you never get taken advantage of again. Hit that subscribe button right now and join thousands of drivers who are already fighting back and winning. Welcome to the channel.